Hey, welcome to A State of Jen. I'm Jen, and today we're talking about your No Fear November market update. Let's base our decisions on facts, not fears, because we're never in a good emotional state when we're making decisions based on fear. So let's talk about the difference between these two. For example, you may have seen some headlines out there that say, foreclosures up 100 and whatever percent, craziest hike ever. Well, guess what? What they're not saying in that is that, yes, 2 years ago, even less than a year ago, there were foreclosure moratoriums, right? So of course, when the federal government says to all banks and lending institutions that you can't foreclose on any houses for a certain amount of time, yes. And then when they open that back up, of course the foreclosure rate is gonna go up and look like it skyrockets, because when it goes from 0 to then back up to like even what normal levels are, it's gonna be obviously an inflated percentage that you're seeing. So that's why you have to really do a deep dive into what those stats actually look like and research it for yourself. So right now, actually, foreclosures are down a significant amount comparatively to what a quote unquote normal market is before the pandemic even happened. We're way, way, way lower. And the expectation of those coming forward is also very low, because guess what? Prices are still up. So contrary to, again, the news headlines about how the prices are just dramatically dropping, well, not when you look at and you compare it to what normal markets look like, where we were at before the pandemic. So you just got to make sure that you can look up everything that anyone says, anything that any article states, anything that I'm saying. You can go research those facts and see that it's probably not as extreme or as bad as what the news headlines say. So some of you may be thinking, is it a good time for me to buy right now? Well, let me tell you the pros and cons. Number one, interest rates actually just went down. They were ticking up, right? We were in the 7.5% range. Now we are actually in the mid-6 range. It dropped an entire percentage point. So is it going to be volatile a little bit through the end of the year? Yes. But overall, the experts are projecting that interest rates are going to level out a little bit. Same thing with inflation. So now during the winter time might be a good time to get in there and get a house, especially if you can be approved at the current interest rates, because times like these, sellers are actually really wanting to sell. They're highly, highly motivated. Same thing when you're a buyer. If you're buying during the holidays, you're probably serious, you're no BS, you're getting after it, and actually really want to buy a house. So you're gonna have a little bit less inventory maybe to choose from, but it's a time where you can maybe get a really good deal on a house, especially new construction. Loving new construction right now. Builders and the builder's lender are giving massive incentives for people right now, like covering all your closing costs. So if you're even thinking about it, it's worth checking out the numbers. If you need a great lender, let me know. I've got plenty of vendors to talk to. Now, sellers. Now, some of you are considering, is it a good time to sell right now or not? Now, of course, there's always nuance, and it's about your personal situation more than anything. But as a whole, generally, you're seeing some price reductions out there, so people think, oh, values are going down. That's not necessarily the case. The overwhelming majority of those price reductions are happening because sellers are pricing above where they should be right now in the market. You could get away with that 6 months ago. Now, that's actually a horrible strategy, because if you price too high and it sits on the market for over 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, historically, that's actually normal. But in buyers' minds, that means, oh, you must be overpriced, and you end up getting a lower offer than what you should have gotten in the first place if you didn't price right. So sellers right now are trying to catch up to the market by inching their price down rather than just pricing it where it should be in the first place. So just because you're seeing price reductions doesn't mean values are going down. Values are actually up in 2022. They are up in the almost double digits. And again, depending on the area, there's nuance there. But as a whole, values are up, and they're projected to continue to go up the next few years, not at an insane rate by any means, but just a more normal appreciation rate between like 5 to 6% year over year. So if you're fearful and you're watching the news, stop that, knock that off. Facts over fear. Facts are going to help you make an educated, best decision for your family. And if you need help with that, definitely reach out. Happy to help. I've got all the people, a great team, wonderful vendor partners that can actually help you make whatever decision is best for your family.